You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio, the show that helps you build the business you need for the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. Do you remember a movie a few years ago? I think it was called Limitless, but the main protagonist in this movie took a pill that helped him access all of his brain power so that he could accomplish incredible things. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if there was really a secret formula that could help us become unlimited and unstoppable? Well, my guest today is going to share her secret formula for helping you do just that. Joining me is Heather Picken. She is a best-selling author, executive consultant, business strategist, and workshop leader on human performance using neuroscience. She is the creator of the Dolce Vita Formula, which is a science, psychology, and philosophy of upgrading your mind to achieve your ambitious business goals. Heather, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Well, thank you so much, Ralph, for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I can't wait to dig into this secret formula. I know that your formula here, La Dolce Vita, is Italian. I know what it means, but in case someone doesn't know, explain to us what that means.
Yes, La Dolce Vita, and I like to say La Dolce Vita.
There you go.
To have a little.
Yeah, that's a better accent than what I bring to
exactly. It means the sweet life. You know, we all want to live that sweet life, especially for entrepreneurs. But, you know, there's a lot of challenges that entrepreneurs are facing, dealing with. So I came up with this formula, and I don't know if we want to go into the story about it, how it evolved, but it's a lifetime in the making.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Lay it on us.
Yeah. And I think, as we're growing our businesses, we've got to evolve, or if we're not evolving, we're dying.
Mm-hmm.
And back when I was in fourth grade, this is kind of where my journey started. I was diagnosed with a learning disorder, dyslexia. And what happened is that I created a label for myself, and that label was being stupid. And it took me years to really go on this journey to kind of find out who I was, kind of figure it out. And I was really failing in my life. So I became very disempowered in all areas of my life, from money to men. And I went into, I went to college, almost dropped out of college, almost dropped out of life, until I, was walking across campus and I saw a poster about filmmaking. And I'm like, oh, wow, I could do that. Because here I was, undeclared in my major, and I just was really beside myself. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to give that a chance. And so I'm sitting there in film class, and there was a film called La Dolce Vita by a filmmaker named Federico Fellini, or I like to say Federico Fellini.
Uh-huh.
This is what really changed my life, because it allowed me to look at things in a different way. I was able to see things in a new perspective through someone's eyes, and that was the vehicle of this film and filmmaking. And then I had the opportunity to live over in Italy and really absorb the culture. So when I was over there, I said, you know what, I want to study the most amazing artists and painters and philosophers. I really want to embrace and embody, this wisdom and something that's so different and inspiring. And so I went on that journey. And when I moved back to the States, I felt like I couldn't get it together. I'm like, what is going on? Like I'm all over the place. And I started a fitness business, and that is where I was connecting the mind and body connection. So, back when I was saying I was disempowered in all areas of my life. So I wanted to work on my physical, I had a physical quest. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I just, I kind of started that journey. And then that was I felt like I reached this place in my business where like, this is not fulfilling. Like, I really want to go to the next level. So then I was asking myself questions like Leonardo da Vinci did, just asking it several times, like, what can I do that I can really put myself out there and also help other people? And I'm like, I love helping entrepreneurs, particularly women entrepreneurs. And so I went back and I started connecting the dots in my life and going, what really makes me, what really, did I learn along this journey of my life, and how can I put this into my business? And so my disorder of having dyslexia really it forced me to create order and find the meaning of, why we do things, why we get stuck in our own way, and then birth this brand, which I call the Dolce Vita. And there's this whole formula about how to, know who you are. And if we're using it in a business capacity, you can rebrand yourself by understanding this formula. You get out of your own way, really breaking through limiting beliefs that have been keeping you stuck. And most importantly, being true to who you are. I mean, how many times have you looked at someone's business and like, that doesn't really feel congruent with what that person is trying to put out? And now more than ever, in a crowded marketplace, I think it gets confusing, overwhelming. And, the best thing is to look within yourself to really, create something that is ambitious, something that is going to empower, other people on this planet. So does that kind of give you an inkling of what that journey is about?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really resonate with the idea that a business has to be a blessing and not a burden. If it's a burden to you and a burden to your customers and a burden to the marketplace, it's not going to give you the joy and the fulfillment. If it's a blessing to others and a blessing to yourself, then it can give you the joy and the freedom to do so many things and to do so much good. So that to me, yes, the sweet life how do we build the business that creates that life and makes it possible? That's really my quest. So you've been working on this and you've got some amazing products and programs, but tell us a little bit more about who you work with and how you help them to connect the dots here.
Yeah, well, I have 2 client avatars. So working with primarily women entrepreneurs, although I do work with fabulous men.
Well, that's good to know. I always like to ask that when people say I only work with women, and immediately my shoulders just kind of slouch. I'm like, oh, too bad.
Yeah, I don't want to discount men because there are men out there that are absolutely amazing, and I've had huge success with. But the kinds of clients that I work with are generally, they've been in business for a while. They want to go to the next level, but they're like, I don't know how to get there. Now, here is the mistake that most entrepreneurs are making. They think it's their marketing funnel. It's not. It's really about getting connected to who you are and the vision that you want to create. So I only like to work with ambitious entrepreneurs that have a mission and vision that want to impact, as many people as they can. They're like, I cannot, go on another day not knowing that I haven't done anything, everything to contribute to humanity. And that might sound like a lofty goal, but, why not go after it? But be, the most authentic version that you can. And that is actually very tricky. That is not easy.
Is that easier for women than it is for men, or is it about the same, or vice versa?
That is a really good question. I'm looking at the men that I'm working with, and the women. I think slightly, I'm going to say it's a little bit easier for women, because I think sometimes men may not get connected to this deeper part of themselves that they have, really connecting to their intuition and really knowing who they are. Not to say that they're, can't do that, but I'm just speaking from my experience, with the men and women that I've worked with. But if you follow the process, what it does, it really, unlocks that part of you that is always you. You're not trying to recreate who you are, but you're just bringing out the best of who you are and giving yourself permission to go to the next level. Because how many times have we, have been told, oh, you can't do this. Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think you are to do that? And I'm here to say you are that person to do it, and go do it, and expect the resistance, expect people to tell you that you can't do it. Use that as fuel. Exactly.
Turn that fear into fuel, and let criticism be the thing that motivates you to prove everybody wrong. Well, I can definitely relate to that. So you're working with mostly women, but what would you say is the most common problem you see when you're trying to help entrepreneurs really tap into that authenticity? What is the thing that holds us back? What's keeping us in check?
Yeah, there's two things that I really feel that are holding them back. Not having a clear vision, and not being able to break through your fear, and those limiting beliefs. Because the clarity of your vision will determine where you're going. And the clearer you are, the easier it will be to attract the right people and resources. So when I'm working with someone, I will spend weeks, sometimes months, working on their vision statement. And this isn't some marketing thing that you're slapping up, where you see when you visit a place of business, here's our marketing mission. This is the essence of who you are and why you're on this planet. Because if you don't have a vision and mission that goes beyond you, then you'll never get to the next level. And so I see this evolving in like this kind of spiritual way. It's also a way that connects with someone on a deeper level. And so when you're so inspired with your vision and mission, and it's clear, you're going to do the things that are more challenging. I find all too often entrepreneurs will give up once they have a roadblock. And I'm here to tell you, you're always going to have roadblocks, and you just have to ask yourself empowering questions. Is this direction I need to be going? Do I need to get clearer on my vision? So when entrepreneurs have chaos in their vision, I say, okay, let's go back to your vision statement. Is this congruent with how you want to live your life? And if it's not, then we need to tweak it and refine it. And so I have a process every day where I read my vision statement, and then I ask myself this question: do I need to change any of the words? I have changed like just maybe a line of my vision statement. It's been so that is congruent with me. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then within 24 hours, I will have something come into my experience, my life, that is matching what I'm saying. So it's so important. And then the second thing I talked about, the beliefs. We all have fears. Everyone has fears, no matter what level of business that you're at. So I have worked with, powerful CEOs making, multiple 7 figures, and they definitely have their own fears. So to think that we're going to keep building our businesses and our brands and never have any fears, that's just not true. But when you go to the next level, it's like, okay, what's that layer of fear? So when we look at, there are specific fears that you must identify in order to go to the next level. Okay, so it's like fear of success, fear of failure, fear of an authority figure. Who are you perceiving in your life right now where you're holding yourself back from really going to that next level that is an authority figure? Fear of not looking smart enough or pretty enough. Fear of not having enough health and vitality. So when you look at these fears, and then you can dissolve the fears, and this is exactly what I help people to do. I help them to dissolve the fear so that they can give themselves permission to pursue something that is beyond whatever they ever thought was possible. And so that's where it's like, not your marketing funnel. Marketing to me is secondary, although I work with the strategy. It's more about aligning your mind to your vision, because everything else will line up when you have foundational pieces in place.
Boy, that makes so much sense. And I do something very similar. I always focus on mindset before I focus on marketing, but you're taking it to an even higher level, which is to get your vision. And I think that is so critical. I spend a lot of time in vision and mission and values, but particularly vision, because I think when you have a clear, and this is the key, and this is what you help people do, develop a clear, compelling vision. If you've got that and you really see the end in mind that you are trying to work towards, I'm not saying it eliminates fear, but it makes fear less relevant to what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so true. And there's so many people that have ambitious visions, but they hold themselves back. They give themselves excuses as to why they can't take action. And I'm here to tell you, you just have to make a decision that you want to do it. That's where it starts. And then you break through it layer by layer. And, it's just amazing what you can accomplish if you do those things. But most people I find are doing the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah. So and I don't get a lot of people talking about vision, so I'm really into this and want to get your thoughts. What can someone do right now to begin to cultivate this vision? Is there a process that they could start working towards this and create a clear, compelling vision for their life and for their business that's going to help them overcome these obstacles and these fears?
Yeah, in my book, The Dolce Vita Formula, I talk about creating your Dolce Vita vision. And what that is, what do you really want to do? Really, what do you want to be and what do you want to have? And, you want to look at how do you see yourself? Like, what is your identification of your being? Are you a catalyst? What words are really powerful that you can use in that vision statement? So you start out with that, like, I am a catalyst for XYZ. And how do you do that? So what is the vehicle that, you are putting yourself out there, and who do you want to reach? And you really want to get clear on this. So what you don't want to do is be general and generic. You can start out that way, give yourself kind of a template, but you want to get clear. It's like you are going into a restaurant and you are ordering something very specific, and you want to have that, kind of same specific, that same kind of specific guidelines for the vision. And so a great way to know if you're not on track is looking at your business or any areas of your life and where you're attracting your chaos. So if you're attracting chaos, and that could be in the form of like clients that are mismatch vendors, that type of thing, that tells me you're not clear on your vision. So you can go back and you can keep reworking it. And when you start reading it, you start feeling aligned. Like I was working with a realtor, and he was very brand new to his business, and we didn't work on the marketing. I'm like, let's create your vision statement. He had a lot of trouble with it. And I said, you really need to spend the time, and you need to trust me, because it will start happening faster, than you know what to do with. And in 8 weeks, he had 2 new listings. We weren't doing any extra marketing or advertising. Now he's created another business. So typically when I'm working with clients, they have their hands in more than one business. I find that's kind of fun, but because to me, it's like, if you're not having fun, why are you in business? So does that make sense? Is that helpful as far as talking about the process? It's like really, just really identifying like what it is that you want to do. What do you want to be known for between now and the rest of your life? So some of those things in your vision statement might not come true in 1 year. Maybe that's a 10-year goal. And you want to put that in there because, your words have power. And when you're focusing, your dominant thoughts with your vision that is aligned with your highest values, you're going to take action on it. It's not going to feel like, oh, I have to, I must. You're not using imperative language. You're using language that is more, I love to. I'm so inspired to do that. And that's why I don't believe in motivation. I really believe in inspiration, which is that fire that is coming, from within. So no one's telling you to do it. You just automatically do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like it. Well, I like everything you're talking about. There's a few things I picked up on that I think is really critical. And one of them is revisiting your vision on a daily basis, not waiting till New Year's Day or your birthday or every 6 months, but looking at that, rehearsing that to yourself, visualizing that, checking in with that on a daily basis. That's so critical. The second thing that jumped out at me that you were talking about is seeing the vision not as something etched in stone, but something that is growing and evolving, is living and breathing, even as you grow, evolve, live, and breathe. A lot of times I think people confuse vision with mission. And so they write out their mission statement, they etch it in stone, they hang it on the wall, they check it off their to-do list, but it's not empowering them. It's not helping them to really become unlimited and unstoppable. It's just another perfunctory thing they did that someone said they should do, but they're not connecting with it. And so what you're suggesting is really, I think, key to making this real and making it something that's going to give us the inspiration to do what we need to do on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And it's so important that you look at it every day. If you don't, then you'll find yourself getting caught up in things that are, that maybe you should be working on. You're in, just going the wrong direction. Again, the words have power. You don't want to be reading this and going, someday that'll happen. No, it is going to happen if you are in alignment. And another thing I want to talk about really quickly is, reprogramming your unconscious mind. That is so powerful. So it's like you have the words on paper that are aligned with you in your vision statement. You know what your mission is. You know why you're here on this planet. As you're reading those words, what happens if they're in alignment with you, and I always say, don't create a unicorn goal. And that is something that is just more congruent with you, right? It's an unrealistic expectation on yourself. And you know that if you're not taking action on it. But what happens is, let's just say you write your vision statement and you're reading it and you're like, you have tears of inspiration. That is exactly, you want to create this thing to where you feel so called that you have tears of inspiration. And because of that, because it is in alignment with you, unconsciously, you're going to connect with that energy. And your unconscious mind is so powerful. And so if you want to change anything on the outside, you have to work within yourself. And that is the only way I will work with people. Because if you try to just slap on a marketing plan and you're not really working on that inner journey to break through all your limitations, then you'll only get so far. So that's why this is the foundational piece that is so important. When I started doing this for myself and really got clear, things started just going in these directions that I never thought were possible. I'm like, can I really put that on there? I'm taking action on that. So I'm just going to put it out there, in the universe, and started seeing things happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, this work. Wow.
Yeah. Very inspirational. And boy, if you don't take care of that inner game and get that vision, for your life and for your business and where you want to go, all the marketing doesn't matter. It's like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake the whole time. You're just going to sabotage yourself. And, so this is really, really, inspiring. And, I think that our listeners will want to find out more about how they can connect with you.
Yes. So if you go to heatherpicken.com, and the last name is spelled Picken, heatherpicken.com. And you can sign up for my 3-day Sweet Life Challenge, where there's actually 3 training videos that go over a little bit more in depth of what we talked about here today.
Well, Heather, this has been really inspirational. I know you say you don't like motivational, but I think it's motivational too. We've got to get our motivation from somebody to get started, and so it's been really good to connect with you, and especially to hear about your take on vision and how we can overcome these obstacles and just really celebrate our success and our authenticity. So awesome conversation. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Yeah. Knowing yourself is like having a superpower.
Knowing yourself is like having a superpower.
Yes.
Very cool. And we all have a superpower, don't we?
It's so true.
I always use those superhero analogies. Every one of them is known for something. Superman is known for being able to fly around and have muscles. And Batman is different. He doesn't have any innate skills, but he's got a great tool belt and a bat cave. He's got technology backing him up. And then, of course, Wonder Woman, she's got her own mystique. So we've got to find out who we are and leverage that to change the world.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I have been speaking with Heather Picken. She is a best-selling author, executive consultant, business strategist, and workshop leader on human performance using neuroscience. She is the creator of the Dolce Vita Formula. Did I say that right?
Love it. Yes.
Okay. I got to practice that. You give me something to work on.
You're saying it.
I'll practice that some more offline. Well, if you want to connect with Heather, you can look her up online at heatherpicken.com, heatherpicken, Picken.com. Heather, thank you so much for being on Rebelpreneur Radio today. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Well, it's been my pleasure, Ralph. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at ralphbrogden.com.